Hello and welcome. It is currently 9:40 a.m. Eastern Time. The current date is the 19th day of February 2021. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and amongst the like, well, that's each his own risk and their own reward. This will be basically just gold and Fibonacci. And I'm going to start with within its price against silver. You can call it the ratio, and it is, but gold against the dollar is a ratio as well too. The ratio or the price is 65 right now. You need to spend 65 ounces of silver to buy an ounce of gold. And all those numbers, of course, will fluctuate based on, of course, how your transaction is done, if such is being executed. I'm going to be going over Fibonacci. I've already drew these lines in before from this low to this high. On the way down at about 90 and 2/3. Just no support there. At the 38.2, there's a little bit of support. Yeah, just a little bit. Resisting the 18 lows, now breaking down below it, noticeably below the support. And this looks to be that it's en route. So like a train station has a next station stop. Well, the next station stop here is going below 54. The ratio against the dollar is 1,781, or that's the price in dollars, I suppose. And on the daily chart, price action is most certainly in a descending triangle. And currently I am watching that of a Mike Maloney video. I'm 3 minutes, 2 seconds into it. I have 34 more minutes to watch. And they got Fibonacci. And when we look at these numbers, and I'm going to zoom in on here just to look at this more clearly. The highs and the lows are written in here, so I can use the exact same numbers. 1847 rounded is the 38.2%, which is registered here. This is what's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, is how they call a 50% retracement a Fibonacci retracement, which halfway between the 61.8 and the 38.2. That's the only precedence I can give. And it's not so bad to put something right in the middle, almost like 18 highs, 18 lows, 18 closes to a sort of comparison degree, even though I don't show the 18 closes either as well. But also on so many sites, I've seen weird things. Like they'll show, I think it's either the 23 or 76. I've even seen weird numbers like, I don't know, some 71 or something. It seems to me that many people who try to follow this do not understand Fibonacci much at all, which I find very unfascinating. But as it goes for the numbers, the low is 1,451. The high is about 21. If you divide those numbers together, you're going to get a number near 1.5. Not the smallest, but most certainly not that big either. Which means when high divided by low is like hardly anything at all, it doesn't matter if you use a linear or a logarithmic calculation, because the results will come out about the same. Now, once you get to about this number here, you'll barely start to notice it. Now, I've already pre-calculated it with the exact same high and lows. So there's 1847 rounded here and 1696 on the other. And I got 1819. 1669, and I don't even calculate the 50% retracement number myself. But I do calculate, I find the 23.6 and 76 to be very, very important. But again, other traders or other people who calculate or work with Fibonacci don't. So I'm very unique within my videos, which is probably why I keep doing it, because of that very reason. And a few other similar to that, I suppose, as well. And before I go back to my charts, and here we got major support trading from trading range, which was, yes, I call that to where we came from. It's also the area quickly. You don't even need to me, you don't even need to calculate any type of Fibonacci or this and that, or 200-day moving average, which also I don't use either. It's just something that is just very easy to see. It's like, yeah, 1750, 1740-ish or so, nicely in it. Not at the top, although maybe. Usually you go well within it. Like, again, that would be around 1750. I would just look at that and think, if we do, if we're unable to hold the support established here, which you can see, this date, by the way, is a little old school, meaning you can see it ends in October. He's going to move forward in his analysis. And again, I haven't seen it yet, But looking at what's happened since then, we can see the prices came down and reached this low in November, and doing so below 1800, currently at 1787. So therefore, we have Fibonacci, at least the one I calculated, coming in at 1819 and 16 and 3/5, or 1670. 1819, which was one of the ones where you would have, as within my analysis, and here, it looked to me as if it was going to make a move there. Didn't do it. And then this failed breakout in here. This is an ultimate failed breakout. Makes a move down in here. Another one, I suppose, in here as well, but this is I'm looking at this now, we're in a retest of the November or December lows. November lows. And doing so after it made a matching high, which in itself makes it even more worse. Because if it made a lower high, which it could have in here, and then not as big of a surprise, we retest previous low. But the fact that it made matching high to this one, you would be expecting and hoping to make a higher low, at least where it did on the January 11th low. And then, a little bit lower January 18th. Okay, still higher, but on the early part of February, now breaking below that point. And again, we've just now, within the last couple of days, have been retesting the previous low. And that level that I show below, I would consider to be a level of next possible support. But really just where we came from, because I look at this as it's one of the Fibonacci lows that can be used. I have a hard time when I see multiple lows like this to choose one over this, which is the same, I suppose, but over this one, over this one. I like the all-time, the biggest lows in here, or the smallest, I suppose, of around 1,050. Maybe on a breakout, I might use these as different levels of key support. I think one of the ultimate ways of doing it is you can try to analyze the numbers more larger on a mathematical level, expand amongst Fibonacci. So there's more Fibonacci percentages, 23.6, 15.4, and so on and so forth. I've explained them before in other videos to see which, if you're going to try to figure out which lows, and I say this with any market low, and I'm not going to really go over it. I will, however, do it within these lows here, and then expand even further amongst the Fibonacci. So 1047, we'll suppose say. So what we'll do is I'll put the same highs in it, 2092. So 76.4 coming in at 179. It's about 17, all slot machines as well. I like to call it the 1777, and then 1600 below that. And 1777, pretty much where we're at now. The low in here comes in at 1764, piercing extra. Yada, yada, yada. All right, moving forward, let's take a look at this on the monthly chart, because now we got these lows. We also got these lows. I suppose you can even say these $35 lows too. Hey, you can go back to the $20 lows from back in here. So many different ways of looking at it. As I look at this, just one easy way of going over analysis. We have a high here from 1980. It's about 850 bucks, or about 1,000, we'll say. I think it was like 880 or so, but I got 869 written. And a very big correctionary move. For it didn't even retest the resistance area level for 28 years. And then after doing so, it managed to break out with a not really that big of a move. When you consider rate of ascent from key low to key high, the amount that it gained, then your pullback, and the amount that it's broken out here is like from like the distance of like here to here. This is not much of a move on the break of resistance. It's corrected that. in pretty much a decade's time, and it's back to previous high right now. That's the story of this market as I'm looking at it. So therefore, if I'm looking at Fibonacci analysis, I think the best goal of everything and on anything is to use that of Fibonacci upside. Now, how I like to do it, and I'm different, of course, from how I do things, and of course I'm going to do it in that same such. I realize there's $35 breakout support here. That's a huge level. And this high, what do they got written down in here? I know it's like high, like 858. 875. I'll use the 875 number. 875. I want to know what the number down here, the 61.8 down is, or 38.2% on the way up. So I'm going to calculate 875 divided by 35, and I'm going to find out the 38.2 number. So the 38.2 is 120. So 875 divided by 120 to the root of 1.618, multiply that same low of 120, that's the upside target, which comes in at $3,000. And as it goes, when I look at upside targets, and right now Bitcoin's going after a 423, which I'm going to get into, but to me there's really, I don't usually see it go north past 3 unless you go really deep and really short-term numbers. But 161.8, I'm not going to say it's child's play, but it's a very difficult task. 261.8% is very difficult. Not often does it get reached. Usually it is the resistance, and not often do I ever see it hit a 423 when I do Fibonacci's like this. So let's get a spreadsheet, and let's just show how the numbers do get calculated on here, because when you say you're using Fibonacci blah 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 in analysis, that means you're using something within Fibonacci, and the sequence is you start with binary numbers of 0 and 1, and then you add the previous two numbers, and you just keep adding what the previous two numbers are, really to infinity, but you don't need to go there. You can see the sequence comes 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, so on and so forth. Oh, that's not easy to do, but so I can just go like this, copy and paste, and I get some big numbers. If I go this divided by this, I get 2. But as I go further, this will just keep on making the number pattern to go to the 1.618, and then it's going to go 033 as well, and so on. But as far as the 261.8 423, well, how are they calculated? Well, a couple ways. If I take 1.618 multiply 1.618, I'll get 2.618. Now if I take 2.618 multiply 1.618 again, I'll get 4.23. But I can also go this number and divide it by two numbers prior to get 2.618. And there we have it. And to get 4.23, the number prior before that. And you can keep on going for next additional Fibonacci upside targets, which means if you really want to go very deep into it, work within extremely short-term number variances on like the 1 minute term time frame and see if you can expand it out some more. And those are different ways of maybe attempting to do such. But so this would here take us to the 4.23, 60, and then a bunch of other numbers. I guess you can round it to 4.24, I suppose, but either way. So therefore, going back to the levels that I was going on, 875 and 120. So when we take the number divided by the other, we're looking at about 4.9-ish. I mean, 900 would I think be, no, 7.3. 1200, okay, that's a math number in my head. Mistake that is. Anyway, so 7.29 is the gain differential. So that to the exponent. So we've already figured out that to the exponent of 1.618, multiply the low, would get us about 3,000. There it is again. But if I change this to the exponent of the 2618, this would be the next target, meaning if $3,000, when I should be saying, gets breached, you could be looking at a next upside target of $21,781. Again, a situation which would be very tough, but very reasonable to accomplish. And if I don't see too many of the 423s when I use numbers like this. And I'm probably going to get an outrageous number it will never see. But with that being said, let's change this to the 423. That would be $500,000, which you never know. To me, I always believe in a final price that's going to happen within gold, silver, probably even Bitcoin, and many other different things as well, against whichever fiat currencies, really all of them, US dollar, Canadian dollar, yen, euro, name them all. But regardless of the situation, and looking at that of the price breakout, again, this is just a whatever move. And I do fully believe that this thing is going to go off and have some fantastic moves. And it's just going to be a play where we see 4, 5, 6, and much higher than that. I believe, again, that 5-figure number, the 2618 number, will most certainly have a very good chance of being tested. And I want to finish this off within a final thought. And that is, and this works with both gold and silver, as we move into this period where Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are having phenomenal prices in a bull market, that means the prices of everything else become cheap and really cheap to buy against such when you are holding it, and your portfolio gain in cryptos have done amazing. Thus, if the prices of gold and silver relatively stay the same or barely go up, that's like, wow, aren't you lucky in that sense, where you can go ahead and buy some of these coins, real coins in that sense, coins you're going to put in your hand that actually have that of force to it, weight. And even if this were to do, and it has been doing its bull market thing from these lows in here, but within such, and let's take a look at gold against the Bitcoin, or rather that of Bitcoin against the gold. And now with one Bitcoin, you're getting about 30 ounces of gold almost. Earlier this year, it was like even 17, and that was very high at that point. When the football season started last year, it was about 5 or 6. And the all-time high before, and it's gotten above it, is about 15. It's double the price. Another way of me saying that even if gold and silver have decent moves, that Bitcoin will control the price and such, and it becomes very cheap, even if gold and silver don't go up. Now, if they go down, let alone stay sideways, and Bitcoin prices go up, this is just going to be an interesting situation, one that I'm most certainly going to be taking advantage of as well. But that would mean, of course, how much physical metal can be taken off the market. And would something like that be done by a lot of people? I'd almost have to think yes. I don't know how many people are actually literally playing the crypto games, one form or another. Literally just holding cryptos, waiting, and then buying. Whether they trade amongst it or hold is either way. And then they buy their physical gold and or silver. I think a lot of people are in that spectrum as well, especially for some people where, I don't even have to give up much cryptos, and look at all this gold that I'm getting in my hand and all this silver. Like, wow, this is a lot that is that I or they are going to be able to accumulate. Alright, this will be the end of the video. It's going to be a busy day for me because a lot more hockey games. One of the things we have to do, I'm going to have to go and find out. Yeah, I'll leave this site for now. Find out who is hot, who is cold for tonight's games. Check out to see who the starting goalies in the National Hockey League are going to be. As we have the Florida Panthers and the Detroit Red Wings, Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames, and the Winnipeg Jets and the Vancouver Canucks. They are well, the three games I'm focusing too much on. There's not so much on Chicago, Carolina. And so far, it's been a fantastic hockey season for me. As I started the season, I was up about almost a couple thousand in the first few days, really, a week or two. And then about 9 or 10 days ago, I was only up about 400 or 500, 600. Now I'm at the stage where I'm up closer to 10,000 than zero. We're up over 7,000. It's been a fantastic, fantastic season. As one of the recent videos, I've done a lot of gambling style videos, but I did a silver charts and gambling February the 15th on the date. And then just doing a quick little old school videos. In January of 2019, I did a deep dive into junior hockey. I have no idea what I was looking at. But it was after that when I came up with, I even talked a little bit about that, my DFS NHL hockey winning strategy, October 18, 2019. So therefore, I remember there was a song that I used to hear where it would say, "It ain't bragging if you do it and you back it up," or basically if you say it, which is you say it and you back it up, which is exactly what I've done. So therefore, I mean, whichever games or investments in which that you're able to see that can help along the way, understand what can win, and just back it up with what you do. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.